hello，今日得我一個人啫，喺哈士。Let's start over. Okay. Very good. So we have to cover the remaining materials of last session. So I will edit the video once again. So let's start again. So we have covered materials of last and the materials that we haven't go through of last lesson. Okay, what again? So AM and FM, they have different usage, okay? But for FM, they have a very strong reason why we don't use it in the aircraft, because of its capture effects. Okay, so we have talked about the capture effects in the last lesson. And FM also requires more bandwidth to provide a higher sound quality. Okay, so that's why we use FM in broadcast. So this is GIF talking about how the modulated wave. Okay, so you see this signature, this signal here represents the audio input. Okay, the audio input, and the AM here is the modulated wave. So you see that the amplitude changes. Okay, the FM is the frequency change. The change of frequency. Okay, so you see that the modulated waves looks like a bit like a string, a string. Yes, 弹簧. Okay. So for the audio of high pitch, high frequency, so you see that the wave is compressed, and for lower the sine wave. Lowest amplitude. So you see the amplitude, the frequency is spread a bit. So this is a comparison of the same signal using different modulation method. Okay. Similar to AM, FM also have a modulation index. Okay, which describes how deep is the modulation. Okay. So for the modulation of the FM radio, the modulation index or ratio is the maximum permitted peak deviation to the maximum permitted modulating frequency. Okay. So you see that the modulation index looks like this. Okay, M equals to the only thing you need to notice is A times FD, which is the peak deviation over the signals in hertz. Okay, so I have also put in what is FD and what is A, but I don't think they will ask you in this examination, but you have to know how to measure it. Yes, because it is very difficult to ask you to know PowerPoint in my ear. Oh, just a minute, I forgot to share my screen. Just a minute. 因為今日冇人喺度啊，冇人提我啊。Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay. Wait. 唔係呢度。Wait. Okay. Here. So for the stuffs, I will show you the GIF. Just a minute. No wonder it sounds a bit strange. Yes. The only thing you need to remember is like this. Okay. The difference of modulation. Okay. Can you see the screen now? You should be able to see the screen now, I guess. Modulation index. This formula, but in the notes that I received, they don't put the FM modulation index here, so I'm not sure if they will ask you. Modulation index can go into 2 units. When I take the my class, they use J, and I found that in some textbooks they can use J, but some textbooks they use M. Okay. Actually, the J has a meaning behind. Okay, the J means the nth order solution of Basel function, which represents the if you analyze the modulated wave, FM modulated wave, with Fourier transform, you can separate the different frequencies out, and which looks a bit like this. Okay, so you see different sine waves combined together. Yes. So you see the modulation when they do the deeper modulation, the frequencies spread a bit. Yes, which looks like this one. Okay, and I don't think they will ask you this one, but just to let you know that deeper the modulation for FM, you use different more different kinds of frequency across the spectrum. Okay. For normal broadcast, in our amateur radio FM transmission, we use a narrowband FM system, which use around 5 kHz for voice signal. Okay. And for our ham, we always mention that our modulation index is 15 with 15, okay, which means 5 kHz bandwidth, and the maximum permitted, you can see this way, A times FD, right? The maximum peak deviation is 75 kHz, and our voice, the message signal input, which is FM, is 5 kHz. So you know that our voice, the voice we can hear is 20 Hz to 2K Hz, right? So 5 kHz is already enough for the to cover all the audible frequencies, and 5 kHz is maximum. Okay, maximum. 5 kHz is the signal input, and 75 is the maximum deviation. Okay, so our modulation index is called 15. This is how we calculate it. So you find it very difficult to ask you in exam because they have to give you a lot of information instead of a diagram. But for AM, they can give you some diagrams and ask you what is the modulation index. Okay. This is one example that I found in the textbook. Okay. So they teach you how to do the not the textbook, but PowerPoint. I have put the URL of the PowerPoint in the speaker notes so you can take a look. Okay. They teach you how to do the calculations again. So you see that for different frequencies, they will, why I put these materials in because sometimes the modulation is not that perfect. So that's why you put the guard band here to prevent when you do the over modulation. There are some rooms protects receivers from the agent or the transmitter from adjacent channel interference. Okay. So you see how the maximum deviation for you is 75 Hz, and for FM radio they use 15 kHz for the broadcast. So you can calculate what is the modulation index for FM, for broadcast FM. Okay. And okay, so this will be asked in your exam, so you have to record this one. Okay, so we have go through AM, DSP, what's carrier? SC, AM, DSP, SC, and SSB, SC, and FM broadcast in our just now and in our previous lesson. So I have to talk about this once again. So you will see this kind of radio emission types or class of radio emission in your ASL, amateur station license. Okay. So they will ask you what is the three letters, right? So A3E, once again, we will see that A3E, what is A? A means AM, okay? J means SSB, single sideband, okay? And they will have a different initial for A and DSB, but DSB SC, DSB SC. Sub. I forgot the word. Let me check it later time. But if they ask you AM, you know that they have a carrier. Okay. GSB, SSB, no carrier. FM, F means FM. I will put G here because it appears in your syllabus. G means phase modulation PM, but we didn't cover it in our notes previously. So if they really ask you and you can remember it, then that's good. So R3E. So we have, apart from the most common one A, J, F, and G, we have R, which is reduced carrier. It's because in our history, ham development history, sometimes it is very difficult to eliminate the whole carrier wave. So they have reduced carrier instead. So this is called R3E. Okay. So do you still remember what is 3? 3, the 3 in the middle means have a carrier wave. Okay. The E at the back means telephone, which is voice. So they can ask you for different transmission method, like A1A. So we have talked about A1A in our second lesson, which is A means AM, 1 means no carrier wave, just using the carrier wave directly. A means the Morse code. We use the carrier wave. We use manual Morse code, so which is A1A. Okay. So if it is F1A, then you know what is F1A. Okay, this is what is the first character and what is the last character. So you have to also remember what is what we have covered in the last character. Okay, A is Morse code, or we say continuous wave Morse code. B means RTTY, automated Morse code. E means telephone. D means data. This kind of materials we have already covered in our third lesson, so they will be asked in your exam. Okay. But I put in this slide just to remind you that the first letter in the emission class have some meanings. Just a minute. Okay, good. Receiving. So apart from okay, so we'll have also go through receiving and transmitting. And I hope we can go through the materials today. It's because transmission and receiving is quite a long topic. Okay. So I hope that we can go through all the materials within today. So we have to talk about the sensitivity. Sensitivity, okay, which means, I'm not going to repeat the PowerPoint. You can read it your own. Okay. So to compare between the signal strength and the noise, we have a word called signal to noise ratio, SNR. Okay, SNR. So we have three different aspects we have to go through: the sensitivity, the selectivity, and the dynamic range, or we call it validity. Okay, so we have to just go through sensitivity. Sensitivity is talking about how a radio, the signal strength comparison between the noise. Okay, how strong they can receive the signal. Okay, selectivity. Selectivity is about the narrow band, the bandwidth. Okay. Sometimes we just want to receive a very narrow bandwidth instead of a very wide bandwidth. Okay. So as we just go through, and we just talk about the bandwidth in ham's radio is very narrow. Sometimes it's just about 3 kHz or 5 kHz. Okay. So if your selectivity is very low, it only can receive a very wide range, like 15 kHz. So you will receive multiple channels at the same time, which is not things we want to receive. Yes. So that's why we talk about selectivity. Okay. So in the slide I've mentioned, it identifies the receiver's ability to separate station. Okay. And some in our transmission, we may have the guard wall, like we will reserve a very narrow band, like 2 kHz, to prevent adjacent channel interference. And it also helps the radio if they have a very bad selectivity. They can also be able to receive just one channel instead of multiple. Okay. So we have 2 different radios with or receivers with different selectivity. Oh, let's see if there are any people. Oh, no people. Okay. 2 different radios with different selectivities. So for receiver A, the radio wave, it has a stronger selectivity. So you see that the 3 dB points just lies here, lies in a very narrow range, So it says that the selectivity is very strong. But for receiver B, you see that the 3 dB or negative 3 dB point is wider. So that's why we say that it will receive a wider range of signal, having a bad selectivity. So maybe sometimes we just want to receive a very short range, like we just want to receive this kilohertz, 7165 kilohertz, just this frequency here. But if you have a very bad selectivity, you will also receive like plus or minus 3 kilohertz. Okay, so how do we measure the bandwidth? We will measure the negative 3 dB points. Still remember what is the negative 3 dB points? The negative 3 dB points talk about when the power is halved. Okay, so you have to memorize how you do the dB calculation. How you do the dB calculation for power, okay, and for voltage. And the last thing is about the dynamic range, which is the fidelity, 全振度. Okay. So when we want to, for the receivers, there's a range that will respond linearly without distortion. The main keyword here is without distortion. So this range is we call the dynamic range, which is the range that the signal is lossless, nearly lossless. Okay. The signal is not deviated within this range. Okay. So that's what we call validity, which is you can keep a very good copy of signals within this range. Okay. I forgot to bring my crystal radio today, and I will bring it next lesson, because today no one is coming here. But never mind. Just a minute. Bottle of water. Okay, I found it. I can. Maybe I should grab a bottle of Coke later. Okay. So pressure radio, I guess, is not included in your exam, but it's good to know. There is one thing in our history: the pressure radio does not use any of the electricity. Okay? It does not use electricity. So when they do the broadcasting or they do the transmission, they will emit the signal, or we call the EM wave, electromagnetic wave. The EM wave itself can drive crystal radio, so that's why it does not require extra battery. But it is very bad. The way it's bad is I found that there's someone coming.
係佢嚟晒，一係就去晒。
係啊，今日冇人嚟。
唔好意思，
點解？
有冇呢個超能膠行下嚟喎？真係。
超能膠。
之前黐到啊，如果黐唔到，我哋就跟夾住咯。即係無塵行下就變成咁啦。今日又咁多嘢做，搞到咁晏先嚟到。今日都係得一個人喺度。唔好意思啊。應該有嘅。我條橡筋一條都得㗎啦，唔使。我條咗橡筋啊，揾條橡筋紮住佢，翻屋企先慢慢搞咯。好啦，唔好搞啦，我哋上堂啊要。我唔識搞，好啦，唔好理佢啦，上堂啦。我真係唔好搞啊，Sir，得㗎啦，我揾條橡筋綁住佢，我再拎去啲。但係好多都黐唔到嘅，因為嗰啲補鞋師傅都話你個底要剷走啲膠，然後先至可以再黐嘅。所以你其實擺咗啲落去咧，佢轉頭都會透翻出嚟嘅。
應該係呢個啊，可以試下呢個。
呢啲係咪黐到皮啊？
佢話黐到膠。
黐到膠。
係啊。
呢個係皮加。
你可以試下。
頂住先。
試下。OK。
神奇啊！佢話去咗旅行係因為
係啊 ，Professor Lee 去咗旅行。
係啦，佢話公幹啊嘛，上次講咗啦。
然後其他人就一個話唔嚟，其他但係冇人 Zoom 喎。
哦。
得一個 Zoom 咗。
可能去咗旅行，因為而家你知臨近假期，啲人攞長假可以話成支嘢都倒出嚟真。呢個黐咗
咦？等我睇下先，睇下自己崩過咗呢個。睇下。
因為可能黐嗰啲膠。
都揾 Zoom。just a minute。哦，係 Alvin 同埋 Angel 啦。
冇份。
係你哋兩個。我上堂唔記得俾碌屎你，唔記得俾 question bank 你哋啊！記得問，記得翻嚟攞翻啊！我頭先係呢個喺度啊！我仲有4份喺度，上堂唔記得俾。
唔係喎，應該係咪呢度倒出嚟嘅咧？
我試下。
我見到呢個位咁樣，我冇戴眼鏡係咪？但係呢啲應該係膠個位嚟㗎嘛。
我睇下先。
跟住左擰就成支倒出嚟㗎咯
喎。濕咗。
係啊，嗱，跟住就成支倒出嚟㗎啦，咁樣。
隔離黐咗啊！應該係黐咗。
應該可能。
隻狗失收。
好危險喎！咁倒出嚟成支咁倒。
都熱咯，會好熱咯，唔好啦咁樣，好危險。咁冇啦呢件，冇辦法。
咁都要倒㗎喎。
倒啦，係小心啲就得啦。
睇到都唔小心。
呢個應該有鉗喎，應該我睇下唔鉗先。
我見到 PK Sir 嗰啲碌仔黑板，繞射仿真天線喺燈呢度。
佢哋嗰度教到呢度咯，啱啱？位。
我都諗住10月先溫，我下個禮拜睇下可唔可以射出去交，因為佢就算喺網上報咧，都要寄支票啊，嗰張支票係唔可以網上俾錢㗎。
可以 FPS 嘅喎，佢哋。
唔得啊！佢話我打去問過啦，都係要交支票，即係都係要去到嗰度交錢啊，或者寄支票去啊，係冇得就咁樣 FPS 交錢嘅。我就咁神奇嘅，你咩都可以喺網上做，你爭呢一 part 又要上去，或者要寄。咁如果我記唔記得張支票，或者即係基本上同網上同郵寄申請一樣，冇分別啦，都唔係網上。
你試下嗱，俾我蠻力爆開咗佢啦，有冇啊？
有啊有啊。
佢黐實咗，真係好犀利。
係成日都會咁。
Let's continue. So we have just come back from a quick rest. So amateur crystal radio. Crystal radio is a tuned circuit, crystal detector, and HARTS. So why we have to talk about this is because it is a radio in simplest form. A radio in simplest form. Actually, if you can buy all the components in the web from Amazon or Taobao, so you can make your own crystal radio. It's not that difficult. The most difficult part will be the headphone. The headphone is the most difficult part to find. And okay. Again, crystal radio can only receive AM signal. Okay, because it does not have more components, it cannot demodulate CW or SSP, or even FM. Okay, and also it is its sensitivity is very bad. The sensitivity is I think the signal strength should go. Yes, the sensitivity is bad. Sensitivity is bad. Because it does not have any amplifiers to help amplify the signal. Okay. This is the simplest form of crystal radio. So please remind me to bring my crystal radio accessor. I forgot to bring my crystal radio. So you see that the parts here, okay. So let me ask. I can ask Angela questions, right? So this is the antenna, right? What does this symbol mean? Can I ask Angela? Can you name these symbols? Let me drink some water first. So I guess in some questions they may just give you a picture and okay, just give you a picture and ask you what is this. Actually they give you a lot of hints already. So you see that this is variable cap, and this is a capacitor, and this is okay. They give you some names here, but you can just tell me what is this. This is actually a dial, okay, a dial, which allows current and electricity to pass through in one direction, which is flowing from here, from the antenna here to our right hand side. Okay. So this one is called. Did I mention this one? Oh, I didn't mention this one. Just a minute. Let me see. Okay, for this variable cap here, the variable cap is helps to. It works like a bit the auto tuning unit. It helps to change the desired frequency that you want to receive. Okay, it helps to change the capacitor so that it will receive different frequencies. And the diode and capacitor here, it is the demodulation circuit. The demodulation circuit. Okay, nothing else. And the headphone here, they got a very high characteristics. So you see that the headphones have impedance of 2,000 and 5,000 ohms. So you cannot use a normal daily headphones to apply it to a crystal radio and hear the voice. Let me check if I got a crystal radio on the web. I guess you can still buy it. Just a minute. Okay. It looks a bit like this, okay? But I got a pack like this at home. Let me see if I can open it. I got a pack at home. Because Michael gave me earlier time. Looks like this, okay? So you see that this is the variable cap here, which helps to tune your desired frequency. This one, the coil, I should put it this way. This is a variable capacitor, and this is the circuit. So you see that this is the LC parallel circuit. LC parallel circuit. Let me change. Let me grab my iPad. Just a minute. Because I found that I will need my iPad to illustrate it. Too bad, my iPad is there. Good. Just a minute. Just a minute. HKRAE 教嚟嘅，真係係咯 ，OK 嘅 OK 嘅 OK。Just a minute, let me check. Okay, I'm using this one and X. Can I? No, let me do it later. Oh, great. I can do it, okay. So your crystal radio actually looks like this. Let me copy from my slide. Just a minute. Let me copy from my slide. Here's my slide. Hey, here's my slide. Hey. Sometimes they will put in this way. So my drawing is a bit cool. Okay. Okay. So I have to do some revision first. So you can see this part. This part, if you if you have already start your revision, you already know this is called a LC parallel circuit. Okay, LC parallel circuit. So what is the characteristic of it? So when the frequency, this is the impedance. Frequency. At its desired frequency, okay. The resonance is at LC resonance. So this is LC parallel circuit, right? So for LC circuit, you have two different forms. One, still remember that? I guess no. One form is LC serial. One is LC parallel. So for LC serial, it's just a circuit with inductors and capacitors together. For LC parallel, it is simple. Let me draw a bit better. Like this one. Okay. So for these two different kinds of LC circuits, you have different diagram. Okay. And when it is resonance, it will be like this. Okay. But for LC parallel, the resonance goes like this. So it's a bit weird, right? Why for the crystal radio they need to use a higher resonance? So resonance will interrupt the circuit, right? It will put a very high, like friction. Imagine like a friction, right? The resistance is very big, and it will cause signal loss, right? You don't want to have a very great resistance at the desired frequency. Why they still use the LC parallel? It's because when, just a minute, let me think in this way. Yeah. If the LC parallel, so you can think in this way. At resonance point, okay, the green is resonance. You can think that the circuit will look like this one. Okay, at resonance. So as this one is having a very high resistance, it will have a very low current pass rate. Okay, it will have a very low current pass rate. The reason why, go back and study the LCM, the resistance parallel and resistance in serial. Okay. So the current here, the Ohm's law, right? V equals to IR. When our voltage is constant, so the signal is constant, right? The voltage, the signal is constant. R increase, which tells you the currents decrease. Okay? That's why the most of the currents will go in this direction to your headphone. That's why at the desired frequency, it will go to headphone instead of going to the ground. The ground is like absorbing all the signals. and discarded. Okay, this is how the LCE circuit works here. But this is just one example, and in most of the tuning circuits, you will see LCE circuits. But you have to take a look at is it in parallel form or is it in serial form. So in serial, it works in a different way, or in reverse way. In parallel, it works in this way. I'll just explain to you how it works. Okay, how we can tune our radio. Questions? I guess there must be some questions, because this part is not that easy to understand. Let me put my iPad away first, because I want to reboot my iPad. Every time when I come to HARTS, I found that my iPad always hangs. I don't know why. Okay. Clear enough? How this part works? Okay, how this part works. Oh, this part is just if you have another antenna receiving a different wavelength, you can put it in like this one. Okay. Simple. Very simple. Yeah, the 1/2 pi with LC. But just a minute. Let me do it. Because I found that there are some apps that better. Some apps is worse. Let me see. Hey. Yeah, good. Hey, good. So do you still remember how to do the 1/2 pi with LC? So let me talk about it once again. Never mind, because I found that I need to have spared sometimes for revision. For in
revision. The last two lessons.
Last two lessons, yes. This is inductor, and this is capacitor. And we will have the XC, XL. So you can treat X is just a special kind of resistance. But this thing is not resistance, so you have to know. I put resistance here just to let you have a easy understanding. You can think in it's actually reactance. Okay, so resistance plus reactance is impedance. But never mind, let's continue. What is the formula for this? It is 2 pi FC. And for no, I'll just flip it around. And for XL, which is 2 pi FL. Okay. So when you do the resonance, oh, my handwriting is really bad. At resonance, XL equals to XC. Okay. So that's why 2 pi FL equals to 1/2 pi FC. And you will know that this is how you do the find the frequency if they ask you about resonance. But I guess you don't. Oh, who is in the lobby? But if they ask you about this one, no worry. You have to remember this too. You must remember this too, and you can deduce all the rest. Okay. Very important, huh? You have to memorize this one. Okay. So let's continue. So I have just talked about how you tune your radio, the tuning circuit, and I'll have to talk about the this is a crystal earpiece, and it is very hard to buy very hard to buy now. But it has a crystal here, a quartz here. Yeah, so it is what is called crystal earpiece. Let me check if I put I put demodulation here. Never mind. I will just go through the demodulation later. Okay. Heterodyne, super heterodyne receiver. We will talk about this one. Heterodyne means, is that pronounced in the correct way? Let me check. I really don't know how this word is pronounced. Heterodyne.
Heterodyne.
A.
Phonetics
Oh, I mute my. Once again, Google help me.
Heterodyne.
Heterodyne.
Heterodyne. Heterodyne.
Heterodyne. Good. Who is in the lobby? Okay, heterodyne. Heterodyne. Okay. We got heterodyne and super heterodyne receivers. Heterodyne receiver is not included in your exam, but why I have to talk about this? Because it's used local oscillator and mixer. Okay, the heterodyne. The word heterodyne means difference, actually the difference, which is subtraction. Okay, subtraction. You are doing subtractions between the oscillator and amplifier. So I really don't find any good illustration here. Sometimes I really enjoy chalk and talk. Let me do a chalk and talk once again. So when we have a mixer here, oh wait. Hey. Come on. Hetero. We have a mixer. We will have a local oscillator. Oh, never mind. Just think in this way. We got F1 here, which is F2 here, and how many outputs they will give you? F1, F2, F1 plus 2, and F1 minus 2. Okay? The heterodyne means we are doing things like this. We are doing the subtraction, okay? Subtraction? Yes, most of the time we are doing subtraction, which is the principle of heterodyne. Just think in this way. The word heterodyne means doing a subtraction, okay? But in this case, just remind us F1 is greater than F2. Okay? But this is a normal super heterodyne receiver, which is receivers signal frequency is greater than the oscillator, so it can make a difference. Okay? And this kind of system will have a problem, but this is really good already. We will talk about what will have the problem. Okay? So you see that F1 and F2, right? F1 and F2, right? And this time we will change we're not going to have an HKRAE. We'll put it as an oscillator, which is called LO, local oscillator, which has a fixed frequency, So that will have become F1 minus LO. Okay? Yes, good. Yes, you can change the frequency of the local oscillators to operate the shift in inputs, but we seldom do this for super heterodyne receiver. Okay. Just to talk about why we have to use a mixer. Okay. This is because the super heterodyne receiver. It has a lot of parts here, but never mind. Let me copy this first. It's not much things we have to go through. The antenna, RF amplifier, mixer. Just a minute. Let me. As I remember, according to my memory, for the AM frequency, the oscillator is around 455 kilohertz. So correct me if I'm wrong. And for FM, it is 10.7 megahertz. But I forgot if I can find it in my textbook, but seems not. Oh no, this here. So I really do it wrong. Never mind. Let me do it once again. Let me copy the information first. Just a minute. I will explain this diagram to you later on. But let me copy this one. Let me copy this one first. Okay, so you see that we have different components here. So this is a super heterodyne receiver. So we are going to receive dedicated frequency. So you see that we have RF, which is the amplifier from the antenna, and intermediate frequency amplifier, detector, okay, and amplifier once again. Detector circuits will which is we call demodulation. Which is the decode signal, okay? And we have to, you see that it has a very I should put in characteristics. a strong characteristics. So you see that they got RF and IF, which is the receivers amplifier and intermediate RF amplifier and intermediate frequency amplifier. For the super heterodyne radio, we are trying to change our frequency, the receiver frequency to an intermediate frequency, For AM signal, the intermediate frequency will be 455 kilohertz. 455 kilohertz. I don't know why they put it standard like this, but this is how nearly all the radio do it. Okay. So you can see that they do a subtraction, right? The LO minus your antenna. The LO minus your antenna. The local frequency, local oscillator minus the antenna. So the output of the mixer will become 455. But of course, apart from 455, you know that you have a different output, right? We will put different filters to filter the signal. We just need the 455 kilohertz left. Okay. The advantage of this is you see that there is a very huge difference between the receiving frequency and the intermediate frequency. So it can prevent a lot of interference. We move the whole working frequency to, which is very, very apart from the original frequency. Okay? This is its advantage. Okay. But we will have another word called, let me work it out first. 4加71, which is 4加71, 41, 5減5零5減3 4減44減。The oscillator is working at this frequency, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I guess I'm doing the math wrong. So just let me know if I'm doing it wrong. Okay? Never mind. I can just use the calculator. 計算機。Oh, really? I'm doing the math wrong. So the local oscillator is working as 4,190 kilohertz now, the local oscillator. So by doing a difference between LO and the antenna, you have 455 already. Okay? But it means it has another problem. What if I now have a signal which is at 4,645 kilohertz. I'll give you 1 minute to think about this question first. What will happen if I really have a signal is this kilohertz? Because I want to drink some water. Here we have a very great problem. Hey, okay, we'll move here. What is the output? You have 4190 kilohertz, 46459. Mấy gì còn một đấy. So you now see the problem. I will have if you have a very strong signal at 4645 kilohertz, it will also generate the intermediate frequency at 455 kilohertz. It will also generate a frequency at 455. That's why it will cause interference, which we call mirror image interference. Okay? So this is the term. If they really ask you in the exam, you have to memorize it. Okay. Which is we are going to receive an undesired signal. Okay? We will receive an undesired signal by doing this method, okay, through the mixer. And sometimes if they have a very strong 455 here, the IF itself can be able to capture the signal, and you have no method to protect it. Or you can use some kind of what we should call Faraday cage to protect the whole circuit. So are there any way we can prevent the image frequency? Oh, just a minute. I guess I'm wrong. This is recorded image frequency. Image frequency. Okay. This is image frequency. Can we prevent this? Yes, we can prevent it. How? We can add filters in it. This is the low pass filter. Or we can use band pass filter. So it depends from case to case. So you have to know what is your image frequency. And you can use different kinds of, of course band pass filter is the easiest to understand why to use it, right? So we can use it. Okay. Let's go back to here. So I'll just introduce this image to you. So we have a local oscillator here. So in my slides, it's mentioned that we have to change the frequency of local oscillator so that when the antennas comes in, the signal we can guarantee to have image frequency. We have intermediate frequency at 455 kilohertz. Okay, at 455 kilohertz. Okay, and for RF radio frequency, you can add your amplifier or not. But never mind. The antenna and the RF amplifier, we can combine this and treat it as one component. Okay. The inputs here through the mixer and the local oscillator, and we will have to guarantee we have a 455 kilohertz at intermediate frequency. So we will do all the processing, amplifier, blah blah blah, at the intermediate frequency. Okay. And once we do all the amplification, we will do the detector. Detector demodulation will try to recover the signal into audio. So you see that the audio may be 400 Hz or we have a different range, okay? Bit frequency oscillator, you will only use it when the carrier wave is missing, which is CW and SSB. For AM, you don't need the bit frequency oscillator, okay? Which helps to recover the carrier wave. So finally, after the detector, if the signal strength is not good enough, you can use an amplifier to amplify the signal. Okay. I guess I missed a very important part. Never mind, I will include it in my later lesson. Okay. So for different kinds of amplifiers here, you have to use different class of amplifier. For the RF amplifier here, it is connected to antenna, right? So you can use class in my notes. In my notes when I take the exam, I remember that it says class B for AM, and other than that, you can use class C amplifier. Okay, and you know that the RF amplifier is class AB or class B. You don't use class C. Okay, audio amplifier class A. As simple as that. Okay? So it's one exception case for SS. I forgot it's SSB or AM, but I'll add it back later time. Just if I didn't add it back, please remind me. Okay? There's one case we don't use RF amplifier, we don't use class C amplifier. It should be SSB, as I remember. Okay. And radio frequency amplifier. The RF amplifier uses LC circuit for the selectivity and limited gain. So I have introduced why we use the LC circuit. It's about the impedance. The RF amplifier also provides two additional advantages. Yes, it isolates the mixer and local oscillator, so preventing the radiation of local oscillator signal. So it can help to reduce the interference. Okay. Okay, the second advantage. So once you have a very great RF signal, you can the unwanted image signal or image frequency, the signal is much weaker than you expected. So that's why you will not be able to hear the very good, very strong signal from the image frequency. You can guarantee a very good signal strength, high selectivity. High selectivity. Let me check. No. High sensitivity. The signal strength is already high at the radio frequency, so you won't have be interfered by the unwanted image signal. Okay. But sometimes if you receive weak signals, your image frequency is very strong, you'll be able to hear just image frequency instead of the radio frequency. Okay. Let's take a break first. So we will come back at 5 minutes later. So the time now is 8:26. We'll come back at 8:31. Okay. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Okay.今日得返一個人喺度，真係傷心。大家都去晒旅行。唉，唔記得提大家要寫呢個，寫呢個係。
上次冇人簽啦。
上次有簽啊。
都有簽。
我今日都未簽，我自己都未寫。未間添我。要間啊！不過唔使間都有佢。徒手得啦。
阿 Sir 點解你可以記得晒啲圖點樣？我諗我都係要背嘅啫喎，就算我知道晒每一個。
背嘅就我都係。
但係你背得咁快啊，大佬！好似諗都唔使諗就畫咗出嚟咁樣。
唔係，我抄佢㗎嘛，梗係記得啦。不過其實呢度係好簡單嘅，即係點樣簡單點解咧？其實你見到呢個收音機呢個圖咧，其實佢主要分3嚿嘢㗎咋。即係收音機。咁天線你駁住直接駁住 mixer 就係 input 啦。咁你個 mixer 咧有2嚿嘢嘅啫。local oscillator local oscillator 加埋天線 input， 咁你就做一個中頻，中頻就係 intermediate frequency。就係 input 啦。條斜地線寫住4。哦，45就係嗰個唔係，呢個係中頻 intermediate frequency。等陣俾我 mark 低先。 都係啦，俾我畫張圖啦，簡單啲嘅圖。
記得嗰陣時係好多圖要畫嘅，
係啊，咦唔係喎，寫錯咗添。
唔成日叫我畫呢張圖都死俾你睇咯。
我都唔記得畫，但係PK Sir 就好犀利，可以即刻畫到，我都唔得。
佢哋識砌嘅，直情記得晒，因為佢係識砌啊嘛，就部機都砌到出嚟，點會畫唔到啫？佢淨係
我就唔得啦。
係啲咩嚟我都唔知啊。
Thank you
咁要背啊，真係好慘。我係唯一攞分我都話係文字題嘅啫，但係嗰度一定冇50題俾你撞噶嘛，即係點都好，因為法例嗰啲其實佢次次都會出，因為其實佢
係啊，次次都差唔多。即係我哋
個主要目的就係要你知道個法例係可以做啲咩，唔可以做啲咩。
但係佢就好多呢啲 technical
但係嗰啲
嘢
基本上唔會太高嘅啫，唔會有50題咯。
唔會啊，頂多30至40題㗎啦，30題已經好多其實。好
我肯定冇，我考過都知冇30題。
而家好啲，而家感覺再畫多張圖一次啦。其實你發現呢個圖咧，呢個係天線啦，即係其實佢係一個 surface 一個 input 嘅啫，即係你個 input signal 啫嘛。我用中文講好似簡單啲。咁然後你個 input signal 入咗嚟之後，咁你需唔需要放大咧？如果你唔需要放大，即係我抌晒所有放大器去啦，咁你其實呢個係 mixer。
其實點解要放大？
放大就係頭先話佢可以個 signal strength 一嚟就係冚咗個 image 鏡像頻率 image frequency，因為你有機會鏡像頻率太強嘅時候，你咪收晒其他人嗰啲垃圾咯，你唔係收緊你自己收緊嘅嘢咯。第二就係我都係方便，都係講 selectivity 嘅問題嘅啫。你可以理解為提高 selectivity 咯，即係個 style 有寫嘅，但係我都啱啱講完啫嘛呢度。
基本上我唔理解。
isolate mixer 咁樣，即係其實佢係同中頻一齊有幫助嘅。咁我而家講一次啦，用中文問點都係。
唔係其實中英文對我都冇乜關係。
都係明嘅
知嘅咩？直流斷同交流斷我都要隔咗好耐我先明係咩。
mixer
關
之後
嘅問題。
TT 咁就得啦。咁頂多呢度你咪可能駁唔使啦。係咁就可以 speaker 啦。
咁已經可以當唔使畫到佢咁 detail 啊。
係啊，咁就係
咁都已經
嗰個
得㗎啦。
係啊
咁。都攞到分㗎啦。
唔係，我哋唔使畫圖啊嘛。
要咩唔使畫圖，我仲記得肯定有。
唔係啊，而家全部都係 MC 啦，
而家冇啦，
冇晒啦，冇圖啦，全部 MC 啦。
但係其實一樣嘅啫，佢用幅圖問你 A 定 B 定 C，佢畫咗幾幅圖，其實你都要知咯。如果你唔知嘅，一樣係唔會知。
而家係簡單咗嘅，簡單咗好多嘅。而家係 MC 嚟嘅，MC 嚟嘅，全 MC，冇問題係啦。咁你呢個 input，我哋其實有另一個名，頭先唔係叫 RF 啫嘛 ，radio frequency 啫嘛。咁你入咗嚟之後，咁你點 mixer 有咩用啊 ？mixer 就係駁住 LO， 即係 local oscillator。local oscillator 個最主要嘅目的係咩嘢咧？就係我要變一個叫做 IF 出嚟，就係 intermediate frequency。咁呢個中頻或者佢哋中計嘅 intermediate frequency，咁有咩用咧？其實就係你希望你嘅input frequency 同埋你嘅 intermediate frequency 分得越遠越好，分得越遠越好。
點樣分得遠？
即係譬如你唔希望你話你而家收緊一個台係4K Hertz 嘅，咁你個 intermediate 喺5K Hertz 嘅，咁如果你或者4.1K Hertz 嘅，咁你咪好近，你咪好容易會互相干擾咯。係啦，即係你唔希望佢會有好近嘅頻率會互相干擾，所以你見到呢個係講緊話佢差唔多 around 4000K Hertz 咯。但係呢個係你講緊係得455嘅啫。
係咯。係啊，我話你話。
係啊，K Hertz 係。咁所以你見到佢頻率差唔多差成千咧，佢就唔會話喺兩邊互相干擾啦。削呢樣嘢嘅。咁然後佢點樣做呢樣嘢啊？就係你靠你個 local oscillator 將佢 full 一個 mixer，將嗰個頻率相減之後拉開佢咯。係咁啦。呢個 mixer 嘅作用就係將你嘅 input local oscillator 減去 input RF， 就可以得出一個 intermediate frequency IF 啦。 咁所以個 local oscillator 係咩頻率咧？其實就睇你 intermediate 出乜嘢，需要出啲咩嘅 input， 需要入啲咩嘢咯。係。咁至於
要計數啦，係嘛？
係啊，要計數啊，係要計數。不過佢會講俾你聽嘅，如果佢真係要你計嘅話。咁頂多你話後邊呢個位，我需要幾多個放大器咧？呢度可能 RF 需要放大一次啦。我 mixer 之後，我中間頻率我4.5可能唔夠大嘅，我再放大一次啦。出嚟嗰個 signal 夠唔夠大推動一個喇叭咧？唔夠大嘅，咁我再放大一次咯。咁呢個時候你個圖其實就同你而家望到呢個圖係就差唔多啦。實擺晒睇一次。咁啫嘛。
放大咗好多次喎，次次都要放大嘅。
咁你咪 RF input 入嚟呢個放大器啫嘛 ，mixer 呢度咯。咁後邊 mixer 連住啲咩嘢啊 ？local oscillator。咁然後你中頻呢度我哋中頻啦，中頻需唔需要放大咧？唔需要，咪直接去 detector 咯 ，detector、audio amplifier、speaker 就係咁啫嘛。即係總之就係其實你嗰個收音機入邊有好多個 component， 只不過係輔助個 signal 去放大佢。咁如果你個 signal 夠強，你唔需要放大嗰陣，其實你最簡單嘅結構就係藍色筆嘅嘢啫嘛。頂多佢話有一嚿咩咧，就 AGC。翻嚟 AGC 喺度 ，AGC 好似喺呢個位，應該係咁嘅啫。但係 AGC 個作用只不過係話防止你個頻率太大 overmodulation 啫。咁你記嘅時候其實係唔需要記呢樣嘢咯，即係你記得有個咁樣嘅 system 喺度。咁其實嗰個收音機嘅結構係調頻就係呢個位啦，調頻啦，呢個位調頻啦。咁你有個中頻就係拎嚟幫助你分開你嘅 radio frequency 去做一啲 processing 嘅時候，唔想互相干擾，所以有個中間頻率同嗰個 radio frequency 越遠越好。咁你有個中頻之後，你都係一個電磁波不斷上下嘅 signal 嚟嘅。你點樣變翻佢做一個聲音啊？就要呢個 DET 嘅 detector 啦。咁個 DET 其實我早幾堂咧講好多次嘅 DET 其實實際上做啲咩嘢咧？就係你有個 signal，譬如係咁樣啦，咁樣啦，咁你就將佢變翻做一個 audio。咁樣嗰隻，呢個就係你嘅 output 啦。應該 audio 就係咁咯。咁呢個就係 detector 個作用啫。咁其實即係你都睇完本書發現，其實都係三部曲、射頻、中頻同埋聲音。咁對應邊一嚿就係咁樣啫嘛。即係你最難嘅地方就係在於crystal radio 咧，就係得天線同埋解頻嘅啫，佢就冇 mixer 嘅，佢就直接一口氣就解落去啦，所以佢就會受到其他容易受到干擾嘅，同埋佢冇放大器。咁對於超外差收音機 super 係唔記得個名 super 唔好意思，少少時間我揾翻個名先，見到識讀，見到 super heterodyne receiver 超外差收音機咧，咁佢只不過係話天線你使唔需要 filter 啦？有 filter 啦，冇 filter，即係其實呢啲 add on 嘅 filter 嘢好多時就係你想加落去，你咪加落去咯。你覺得有問題嘅就加，冇問題咪唔使加咯。譬如話我而家好近面對面收緊你嘅 signal， 咁你個 signal strength 已經好強啦，咁我 amplifier 咪可以唔使加咯，直接 antenna 去 mixer 解頻detector， 咁就完啦已經。到 antenna ray mixer detector 就係咁咯。crystal radio 就係 antenna 加一個 LC 跳頻LC circuit 去 tune 你個 frequency， 加埋個 diode 加 capacitor 做 detector 或者係 demodulation 咁就完啦。係啊，所以你話係咪好複雜咧？其實即係我拆開話3個部件之後咧，其實佢 mainly 得3嚿嘢嘅啫。中間嗰啲只不過係 serve 話令到個 signal 好啲，個 noise 細啲，唔會受到其他嘢干擾，係啦。只不過係話好似話 RF filter，我 filter 可能我聽 antenna 收入嚟會收到唔同 band 嘅，因為佢會有 harmonics，咁我咪 filter 走佢咯，我唔要咯。個 signal 太弱嘅，我需要強啲嘅 signal，我咪 amplify 一次先咯，咁啦。mix 完出嚟之後，可能 mix 完出嚟之後佢都會有，因為 mix 有4個 frequency， 我有機會其他 frequency 都落咗後邊嘅，我唔想嘅，咁我就加個 filter 落去咯。咁然後 fill 完之後，或者係本身個 signal 比較弱嘅，咁我咪再加大一次咯。detector 聽完出嚟之後推唔喐個收音機嘅，因為可能你個 signal 可能好弱，但係你要推個好大嘅喇叭，咁我咪後邊出咗嚟個 audio 再 amplify 一次，係咁啫。望落好多嘢，實際上得3件，就咁啦。你就唔好諗到好複雜，其實真係得3件嘢。OK， any more questions? No questions, then we will continue our lesson. Image interference, image signal. So we have talked about it already, right? So you know how to calculate the image frequency. But I guess they will ask you one question at most. I didn't miss image interference in my exam. Do I need to explain it once again? Why in our example here, or the example in the textbook, they will have an image frequency of 4645. It's because when you do the subtraction, 4190, right? You 4190 minus 3735. You have the intermediate frequency of 455, but also for an undesired signal, 4645 kHz minus 4190, you will also generate the intermediate frequency 455. This is called image interference. 4645 is called image signal. Okay? Easy, huh? Mixer. Mixer is we will use the mixer to generate the intermediate frequency. Okay, so this is important, and the characteristics of super heterodyne receiver or the heterodyne receiver. All of them relies on the mixer, and they do subtraction. Okay. And if you, let me put it in Chinese. If you go to some Chinese document, they will talk about 超外差收音機 and 超內差收音機. But you won't find 超內差收音機 in English because they make up this word. They make it up. Okay? There's nothing called 超內差收音機. Don't being tricked by the Chinese textbook. No. In English, we only have super heterodyne receiver. Okay? Super heterodyne only, which is 超外差收音機. Okay? So sometimes if you do do the reading in Chinese, they make this word up. So you have to always refer to the English translation. Okay? Weird. I don't know why they make up this word, but they make up this word because of the addition and subtraction. It's really weird. Okay? Mixer. Once again, I have to remind you, they will have 4 outputs. F1, F2, F1 plus F2, F1 minus F2. 4 outputs. So if you have 4 outputs, you can just use a filter to filter out the signal that you want. Okay? Very simple. local oscillator. So the local oscillator is just a frequency generator. It will help to generate a constant sine wave output. So this sine wave will use it to use it with mixer and antenna, which is the signal received, to create the intermediate frequency. Okay. Simple as that. Really simple, huh? So you don't need to think in any other ways. Just because we need the intermediate frequency, we need to use mixer. The mixer needs two signals, the receiving signals and what else? That's why we have a local oscillator. Simple as that. And yes, I haven't mentioned what is the frequency of AM. The AM frequency is 455 kilohertz, and FM is 10.7 megahertz. Okay, just treat it as an additional information. Intermediate frequency amplifier. So the IF amplifier, very narrow selectivity, high gain. Okay. So if a greater signal, okay. So it's just to prevent a greater, if any other signal, which is same also as 455. So if you have a very strong signal, you have a very high, it can prevent adjacent frequency interference. Simple as that, okay? It will provide a greater selectivity. Okay? Oh, I didn't put it in. How come? Okay, never mind. Just to remind you, 455 kilohertz for IF frequency is used for AM, HF, yes, this band. So it's included in your textbook, so I find it where the 455s come out and why they use 455. But this is normally used for AM. Okay. Detector. Detector is, or we call it is the process of demodulation. It is just to recover the audio signal from IF carrier. Okay. Let me grab my iPad and do it once again. Okay. Okay. We have a diagram like this, right? This is the RF. Let me put this down. RF radio frequency, the IF intermediate frequency, and audio frequency, AF, okay. So when you have the RF, it looks like this, right, for AM. IF is just the same. They also keep it like this. Just they have a different frequency, okay? Can I just duplicate this? Okay, I can duplicate it. All of them are modulated with different frequency only. Different frequency only, okay? But for audio frequency, let me do a clone again. So you see the red line? We'll recover this one. This is the audio, okay? Yes, we are doing things like this. Okay. good enough, huh? You can. Oh, never mind. It appears in your recording. Okay. So this is how your detectors works, but it's just an illustration of AM. For FM, the detector is just doing the same job, but the diagram will be different. Okay. So I guess they won't ask you how to do the modulation of FM. They will just ask you the modulation of AM, because the modulation of FM will be a bit difficult for you, for all the students. Okay. This is how we do the demodulation. So you see that there are two components, diode and capacitor. Okay. The use of diode here is to so you see that the modulated wave, it will have a signal positive and negative, right? Positive and negative. It's alternating between positive and negative. The diode will only allow the positive signal or positive voltage to pass through, okay? And prevent negative voltage from flowing through the capacitor or the R. The R here is in the load where we collect the signal finally, okay? The capacitor here, the capacitor is a storage of energy, right? It stores electricity. So it helps to keep the voltage up when the signal is alternating. So that's why you will see them zigzag between. So, but if you do it more precisely, you have a better capacitor. The zigzag will become very little, and you have a very close, have a wave very close to sine wave. This is because the envelope detector, the DET, or the process of demodulation. This is how we do it. But I don't think they will ask you. It's because also PK didn't talk about it very deeply. So just to let you know how the demodulation works for AM. Okay? So I hope you have a better image in your mind. Okay? Actually for BFO, I really don't want to put it here. It's because when I do my exam, just before I take my exam, I should put it this way. I didn't know what BFO serves before I prepared this video. And I found that for BFO, bit frequency oscillator, it helps for CW and SSB to recreate the carrier wave. And the AM detector cannot work without the carrier. No, I should put it this way. The super heterodyne receivers cannot demodulate CW and SSB properly without the carrier wave. And BFO is to help to recreate the carrier wave. Okay? So if they ask you in the exam, it is included in your syllabus. Just to remember that it is how to recovery. And it is not common to use in AM. No, we don't use BFO in AM. HEC. HEC is to prevent the signal going too quick. So sometimes, if we don't have an HEC here, the signal receiver it will be like this. So the signal is too large and it may damage your other components. So the HEC is like a negative feedback loop. Okay? So it feeds the signal back. Just like if the signal is growing too big, you can, okay? It will help to decrease the signal by minusing itself. Okay? So that's why when the signal string is growing very large, it helps to decrease the signal like in a logarithmic form to prevent the signal growing too big. It do it in a negative feedback, okay? To prevent the signal growing too big. But it is more commonly used in transmitting instead of the radio. Okay. Because for the radio, it will have a problem of overmodulation, but receiving does not have this kind of problem. So because you can't control it already. Okay. This is the problem if we don't have the HEC. So the left hand side, if apply the HEC, the left part, if we don't have a very large signal and we don't have the HEC on, then we'll have problem of overmodulation. And there are some waves that we cannot receive. Okay. Audio amplifier, very simple, just to amplify the audio, to drive the speaker. Let me check how many slides have I left, okay? I'm really worried about it. Oh, I can do it very quick. Okay. Transmitting. So there are some criteria that we need for a transmitter. Because sometimes for receiver, you just receive a signal. You don't have to take care about many things. You won't be able to interfering others, right? You are not providing a signal. But for transmitting, you have to bear in mind that you need to have a stable frequency. The signal you transmitted should be kept at a narrow band, and you don't want to have a band alternating. Otherwise, when others receive the signal, they will hear nothing but noise. The LO does not change. So if the L varies on the voltage and temperature, you cannot have a very stable local oscillator, and the intermediate frequency will be very bad. Okay. Harmonics, minimize harmonics. You don't want to emit the harmonics because from the FCC, there should be 99% of your signal within the band. Okay. If you have more than 1% of signal out of the band, OFCA will come and help you. Okay. Frequency can be adjusted. Yes. You don't want to just emit at one frequency. You sometimes, for example, your frequency is being occupied. You want to change the frequency. That's why you have to add like a variable capacitor or antenna tuner to help to tune your frequency. Oh, we have to talk about ANT now, and we want to minimize the relationship between frequency change and LO output. Okay. This is all the criteria. For AM transmitter, so you see we split into two parts, but hey, it just looks the same, right? No, I'm joking. It's not. It looks very different. Okay. So when Pikisa taught me, he also puts this diagram into two parts. So the first part is oscillator, which we create a carrier wave, where we the carrier wave. Okay, carrier wave. That's why the carrier wave. So you remember the carrier wave is just a sine wave, right? So we'll put the sine wave here. Okay. If the oscillator is not having a very strong signal, you put an amplifier to amplify it. Okay. And this part is the oscillator part, and this part is the audio part. The audio where your signal your voice coming. Okay. So you see the voice audio. How come? Oh, never mind. Audio modulator. High level audio signal. Okay, it just amplify your signal. And they have a mixer here. So that they will put your mixer? No. Modulator, yeah. This part they will have to put your audio signal to your carrier wave. Put your audio signal to your carrier wave and emit it finally. Okay. So that's we have a, no, does it look simpler? I don't think so. Maybe simpler. So it has two parts: audio, carrier, amplifier, and audio, amplifier, speech processing. Sometimes they may want to flip the signal from 20 Hz to 2K Hz to clip all the unwanted signal out. And amplifier. And at last they put these two signals together through the modulation, the AM. And then they transmit the signal through the antenna. This is how the transmitter works. Okay. Oh, I finally put it in. Buffer antenna. They just amplify the signal. So that the buffer antenna is to help amplify the RF, so that you don't need to use a very high. Your carrier oscillator does not have to output a very high signal, a high power. Okay. Lower the loading of oscillator. Usually we use a class A amplifier as the buffer amplifier, so that you don't want the carrier wave to have some lossy, no loss, lossless, right? Frequency multiplier. Oh, because I have a frequency multiplier here. No. Oh, sometimes they may put a frequency multiplier here or here, just to multiply the frequency behind the. Okay, I don't think they have a amplifier here, frequency amplifier here. But sometimes if you want to have some very high frequency oscillator, you will also put it here. Okay, you will also put it here. Driver amplifier to amplify the signal before you transmit to antenna. Driver amplifier here. Okay, driver amplifier. Usually you use class C amplifier. Okay, you have to look it down. Because I have looked through my notes and I found this one. SSB we use class AB or class P amplifier, which is exception case. Okay. Power amplifier determine the emission power of antenna. Okay. So for A1A, high power A3E, AM or FM, you use class C amplifier. But for SSB or low power AM, we use class B amplifier. You have to remember that. Okay. So the power amplifier is the final stage of going to the antenna. Oh. Here, they're just the same. Okay. Audio amplifier amplify the signal, so you use again class A amplifier, right? Oh, even simpler, I don't put this in. I can just put an audio or we see if I did the amplifier and we put it to the RF amplifier together. So you won't see this driver amplifier or modulation amplifier. FM. FM have a very strong, very high characteristics. The amount of energy of higher speech is naturally less, and it have a distortion. So that's why we'll have a pre-emphasized circuit, pre-emphasized for higher speech, higher speech frequency or higher pitch. And because the signal is stronger, if you don't have a de-emphasized circuit at the receiver, the voice will become very strange. You hear the high pitch will have a very strong signal. That's why we have a de-emphasized signal. This is because if we don't do the pre-emphasize, the signal to noise ratio of higher speech frequency will become very little. Okay. The voice will become lossy. Yeah, not as clear as now. That's why we have a pre-emphasized signal. That's why because of the sensitivity, the signal strength. Okay. The FM receiver looks like this. Okay. Okay. At this point, they don't call it as demodulator, but they call it as discriminator. But they do the same thing. Okay, they do the same thing as the demodulator. Okay. Limiter. So AM, you may also have AC, HEC. So the HEC here, yes, they here, they don't have HEC. Just to prevent the signal growing too large. Okay. Just to prevent the signal growing too large. And you see that the emphasized network, very important here. So you see that the FM radio, you have a pre-emphasized circuit. So, but bear in mind that the pre-emphasized and de-emphasized circuit, it goes like a linear curve, a 6 dB curve. So that's why the emphasized, de-emphasized, and pre-emphasized, they should match. If you don't match, you cannot de-emphasize signal. Your audio become very strange. That's why you have to follow this emphasized curve. So you see that from 2122 to 30 kHz, you have a 6 dB octave slope. Okay, 6 dB stronger per octave. Yes, this is how they do. Other than that, the rest of them are very similar to AM transmitter or AM receiver. Just to bear in mind, they have a de-emphasized and pre-emphasized network. And if you have time and have interest, you can take a look at how they do the work. But I don't think you need it. Okay. De-emphasized network. So the higher pitches, the higher frequency, they are already stronger through the when they transmit through the RF. So the signal is strong at higher pitches. So you have to increase the signal strength of high pitch. This is how they do it. Okay. So you see that for high pitches, the signal will become very weak. But you don't need to worry about this because after 20 kHz, you can't hear it. So you can have a zero strength. You don't have to worry about the signal strength over 20 kilohertz. Okay. So what we have go through today. Finally, at these 2 lessons, or even 3 lessons, 3 lessons, we have talked about the receivers. We have talked about the advantage and I didn't talk about this. Adjacent channel, image frequency, interference, and the capture effects, and sensitivity and selectivity, amplifiers. Oh, did I miss the tune circuit? Oh, the tune circuits will be included later time. I guess I have included here. Let me check. Oh yeah, antenna tuner, yes. ATU. I can go through it. We'll go through it later time. But I've already prepared the materials. Let's continue what we have go through today. And we have go through what yes, this is copied from our NSE. Okay, what we talk about the modulation methods. So they mentioned it A3E, J3E, F3E, and G3E. G is phase modulation, but if you don't memorize it, if you can memorize it, don't memorize it. Okay, we have covered 0 materials on phase modulation, but A3E, J3E, and F3E, you have to memorize it. Okay. No, I haven't talked about the telegraph. If we have time, we'll go through it later time. Okay. Voice operation control, blah, 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 blah. So you see that most of the materials I've already covered. Okay. And let's see if you have any questions first. Any questions? So if you don't have, actually I want to do a basic revision first. So that's first, so that the next lesson we'll talk about the measurement, and the next lesson will be at 26th of September, right? Yes. So we'll talk about the measurement, and I would like to reserve 3rd of October to do a quick quiz. Yeah. So that's why we can, if you have questions on different materials, you can ask me now. You can ask me now. I don't want to go through the measurements today. Questions?